Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa kafa. Wa salamun ala ibadihi alladhina istafa khususan ala sayyidi rusuli wa khatamil anbiya wa ala alihi al-azkiya wa ashabihi al-atqiya. Amma ba'd. One day Umar radiallahu an was in the market and he purchased a horse. It was a beautiful horse. It seemed to be priced properly, so he took it. He hadn't gone far from the market when he noticed that the horse wasn't walking right. Something was off. So he turned the horse back around, went back to the person who sold it to him. Amir al-Mu'mineen, Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anh, demanded to the person to reverse the transaction. That person said to Umar radiallahu anh, I will only reverse the transaction if a judge passes a judgment. Otherwise, the transaction is what it is. I'm going to keep the money, you're going to keep this horse. Umar radiallahu anh said, okay, that's fair. There was a knowledgeable person by the name of Shuraih, Qadhi Shuraih. Originally Yemeni, became Muslim during the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and according to the more authentic reports, missed the opportunity on actually seeing the Prophet of Allah. They do not list him from the Sahaba. Rather, he is considered a tabi'i. He says to Umar radiallahu an, present the case. So Umar radiallahu anh says, I purchased this horse. It looked good. It was safe, sound, healthy. I took it when I was leaving the market. I noticed something was wrong with it, and now I want this to be reversed. So he said to Umar radiallahu anh, you are saying that when you took it, kana saliman, that it was good, and then after you left the market, something happened to it. Umar radiallahu anh said, yes. So then he said, keep what you purchased or return it back the way you purchased it. Keep what you purchased. You have two options. You can keep what you have and go home, or return it back the way you purchased it. You don't get to keep your money and return damaged product. Umar radiallahu anh was so amazed by this person's intelligence, his justice, and his wisdom in the moment. He wasn't afraid. So what if he's talking to Amir al-Mu'mineen Umar ibn al-Khattab? Bear in mind, the Romans were terrified to look at this person in the eyes. The Persians wouldn't dare look at the eyes of Umar radiallahu anh. They would see death there because he was a man that was cold in front of the oppressor. But when justice was presented, this mountain melted, because he understood that even though he is the head of the Muslim state, once a judge says something in Islam and that person's statement is based off of valid reasoning and revelation, you put your ego in the back pocket and you submit. These Sahaba had no ego, so it was a very easy decision. Umar radiallahu anh then said to him, you will be officially appointed as a judge on behalf of the Khilafah. This one case won Umar radiallahu anh's heart. Umar radiallahu anh then sent him to Kufa as a judge, and some reports tell us that he served as a judge in Kufa for 60 years. And then also for a short period, just around a year, he also served as a judge in Basra. Qadhi Shuraih was known for no favors for anyone. No favors for anyone. And when he spoke very firmly and very clear. He was a judge, a unique judge. Someone asked him, how's it going today? He said, Alhamdulillah, half of the population is not happy with me. Half of the people, they're not happy with me. Half of the people are happy because I've spoken in their favor and given justice. As for the other half of the people, they're not too happy, but that's okay. One day someone asked Qadhi Shuraih, how did you gain your wisdom? بأي شيء أصبت هذا العلم? How did you gain this knowledge? قال بمذاكرة العلماء. By sitting with people of knowledge. When you sit with people who have actually studied the deen, simply being in their presence and listening to their words will increase you in intellect, wisdom, breadth, knowledge. You will grow. But if you sit with people and talk about the deen with people who actually have never studied it, none of these people have formally studied, and everyone has something to say, you will become an echo chamber of nothingness. No one's saying anything, but everyone's agreeing to everything. So in reality, you're an echo chamber of nothingness. Allah Azza wa Jal tells us, قُلْ هَلْ يَسْتَوِي الَّذِينَ يَعْلَمُونَ وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Those who have knowledge and those who do not have knowledge are not the same. But the amazing thing about our deen is that knowledge is not reserved for just a select group of people. Everyone can be a scholar. Everyone is encouraged to study the deen. Every day we are told to connect with the Quran directly. You don't need me or an app or someone else to come and teach you how to read. As long as you know how to read, do it. The Quran is yours. Connect with your deen. Build that relationship. So he said, بِمُذَاكَرَةِ الْعُلَمَاءِ أَخُذُ مِنْهُمْ وَأُعْطِيهِمْ. That in those conversations, I take from them and I also give back to them as well. One day, Qadhi Shuraih's son said to him that, Baba, I have a question. Go ahead. He said that I have some people that I'm in business with and there is a dispute. I want to put the case before you, and if you advise me, I will then take it to court. And if you feel like I shouldn't take this to court because I'm not in the right here, I'll settle with them out of court. So Qadhi Shuraih said, that sounds fair. Go ahead, tell me. So he told him the whole scenario. This is what happened. This person did this person did that. So Qadhi Shuraih said to him, take it to court. So the son took the case to court. The judge presiding over the case was his dad. So he's thinking, this is going to be so easy. Qadhi Shuraih listens to a little bit here and there. And after he's done with brief questioning and examining the situation, he passes the verdict against his son. So his son afterwards came to his dad and said, Dad, come on. Like, you're the one who told me to go to court. Like, had you not told me to go to court and I went to court and you passed a judgment against me, that would have been cool. But you told me to go to court and then you passed against me. He said, I feared that if I told you not to go to court, you would have settled with them out of court and manipulated them in passing up on their rights. And I wanted to make sure their rights were delivered through my word and my hands. So I ensured that you presented the case to me, so everyone's haqq, everyone's right can be delivered to them. Qadhi Shuraih. Ali radiallahu anh, he once had a dispute with a Jewish man. Again, bear in mind, at this point, Ali radiallahu anh now sits at the seat of Khilafah. He is now the head of state for the Muslims. The Darul Khilafah has been relocated from Medina Munawwara due to the unfortunate circumstances with the end of life of Uthman bin Affan radiallahu anh. Ali radiallahu anh did not like the idea that there should be unrest in the city of the Prophet. And a political hub usually attracts problems. So he said, we are moving the Darul Khilafah from Medina. Medina will no longer be the center of the Muslim Ummah. Politically, it will always spiritually be with Makkah Mukarramah. Politically, we're moving it. We don't want problems here anymore. People should come here, worship, buy dates and buy musallas and tasbihs made in China and go back home. But that's it. So he moved it from Medina. He didn't say the China part. He moved it from Medina to Kufa. Now, when he moved it to Kufa, the Qadhi there is who? Qadhi Shuraih. Who appointed Qadhi Shuraih? Umar radiallahu anh, 2 Khalifas ago. Before Uthman radiallahu anh, Umar radiallahu anh put him there. Ali radiallahu anh arrives. He is the Qadhi. Ali radiallahu anh has a dispute with the Jewish man. The Jewish man has an armor. Ali radiallahu anh sees it. And like any soldier, he knows his gear. So he says to the guy, that's my armor. The Jewish man says, well, I have it, and I think it's mine. Ali radiallahu anh says, you and I both know that's my armor. The man says that I will only give this armor to you if a judge passes that I have to. The case lands in the court of Qadhi Shuraih. Qadhi Shuraih, he sees the two. And he starts off by asking Ali radiallahu anh, Ma taqulu ya Amir al-Mu'mineen. He addresses him with his appropriate title. O leader of the Muslims, what's your case? قال لقد وجدت درعي هذه مع هذا الرجل وقد سقطت مني في ليلة كذا وفي مكان كذا وهي لم تصل إليه إلا ببيع ولا هبة لا ببيع ولا بهبة. So Ali radiallahu anh says, I lost my armor. I remember exactly where I lost it. And I know this guy now has it, and I'm almost sure, and I know that this guy did not buy it from me, neither did I gift it to him. This is in his possession unrightfully. I demand it be returned back to me. So Qadhi Shuraih then turned to the Jewish man, and he says to him, ما تقول أيها الرجل? What's your case? قال الدرع درعي وهي في يدي. This is my armor. I have possession of it. Now, time out. For those of you that are not familiar with Islamic law, when a dispute is presented to a judge, the ruling is primarily based off of the first step that the judge will take in settling any dispute is he will act upon the hadith of the Prophet of Allah alayhi salatu wasalam, al-bayyinatu ala al-mudda'i wal-yaminu ala man ankar. What this means is the one that's making the claim, in this case, Ali radiallahu anh is making a claim, that armor is mine. The armor is in the hands of the Jewish man. The Jewish man is making no such claim. He's happy with his armor. Ali radiallahu anh is saying, that's my armor, so he's the claimant. Al-bayyinatu ala al-mudda'i. So now the one that is making the claim must provide proof. And if he is unable to provide the proof, وَالْيَمِينُ عَلَى مَنْ أَنْكَرَ, then the one who has the defendant will just take an oath that wallahi it's mine. And if he takes an oath that it's his, the case will be dismissed, the claimant will be sent back home empty-handed. That is the foundation of qada in Islam. Let's go back to the story. So this Jewish man says, the armor is mine. So now Qadhi Shuraih, he turns to Amir al-Mu'mineen and he says to him, I have no doubt that you are a truthful man, O Amir al-Mu'mineen. And I also have no doubt that this armor is yours. However, based off of procedure, I am required to demand from you 2 witnesses that are acceptable in my court. Ali radiallahu anh says, absolutely. And he presents 2 witnesses. One was his servant Qambar, and the second one was his son Hassan radiallahu ta'ala anh. Qadhi Shuraih says, in my court, I do not allow a son to testify on behalf of his father. I don't allow that here. Ali radiallahu anh says, subhanallah, the Prophet of Allah said regarding this man, Sayyida shababi ahli al-jannah, al-Hasan wal-Husayn, Sayyida shababi ahli al-jannah. So Qadhi Shuraih in response said, I have no doubt that Hassan is who you say he is. And I will never doubt his word, for he is a truthful man. But it goes against the policy of my court. And there will be no exception for Amir al-Mu'mineen and Hassan radiallahu an, with all due respect. Just as I would disqualify Arif's son, or I would disqualify Fulan Muhammad's son, or Anas's son to testify on his behalf, this justice will be offered to everyone so all Muslims know that their place, and non-Muslims, that their place of justice and refuge will be our courts. Ali radiallahu anh then said, I'm short of 2 witnesses now. I don't have 2 witnesses anymore. He then passes the verdict in favor of the Jewish man and says, take this armor and go home. Ali radiallahu anh is shocked. Everyone in the audience is shocked. The Jewish man is shocked. He's like, what? How did that happen? Like, I just thought, let's see how this evening goes, and we'll just maybe at the end of this get dates and tea and just enjoy the memories, but this thing just took a turn. This was like a 0% chance. There was no chance I was going to win this. It was me versus Amir al-Mu'mineen, and I don't even have some high law firm lawyer defending me. It's just me, random guy, versus Amir al-Mu'mineen. So the Jewish man then, he took the armor and he said, Ashhadu bi anna dir'a laka ya Amir al-Mu'mineen. This is your armor. And then he said, I testify that this religion is the truth. And I testify that Allah is one and that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is his servant and his messenger. When you were going to Siffin, this armor fell and I saw it. It was a battle. And I picked it up. فَسَقَطَتِ الدِّرْعُ عَنْ جَمَلِهِ الْأَوْرَقِ فَأَخَذْتُهَا. That I saw the armor on the ground, so I picked it up. Ali radiallahu anh thanked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he did not do dhulm on anyone in making a claim against them. He did not oppress anyone. And then he said to him, now that you are a Muslim, Michael became Muslim today, so appreciate this statement. He said, now that you are a Muslim, my gift to you is this armor. Keep it. This is my gift to you. I want us to remember this day. And he said to him, as for this horse that I came on, keep this too. It's yours. And the ulama, they say, that man was seen fighting side by side with Ali radiallahu anh against the Khawarij in the battle of Nahrawan, and was then also admitted in the list of the Shuhada, the martyrs. The whole qissa, the whole story boils down to the justice, brilliance, intelligence of this great legend, Qadhi Shuraih. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to see justice like this. May He grant us this brilliance and intelligence. May we have the confidence to follow truth objectively and not be drowned into our emotions, that we give preference to our own family members over what's right. وَلَوْ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَوِ الْوَالِدَيْنِ وَالْأَقْرَبِينَ. May Allah accept. وصلى الله تعالى على سيدنا محمد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.